Welcome to this month's episode of Chamber TV. Special guest John Bellamo stops by to talk about the Maryland Shakespeare Festival and the power of serious play. Tracy Lucas will also join us for an update on leadership Frederick County. Season 2 continues with episode 17, hosted by Joe Porpiglia and Jessica Hibbard.
Not bad.
All right. Well, welcome to episode 17.
Welcome, everyone. It's good to see you, Jessica.
Great to see you, Joe. Well, if you're watching online, you've already found our YouTube channel. You can join in the conversation on Twitter by using our Chamber TV hashtag. We are also posting updates on our Tumblr blog. You can see photos and videos and other snippets online at frederickchamber.tv.
All right. Well, then let's move to Positively Frederick, our Chamber blog. Anyone can submit a story about something good, exciting that occurred in Frederick County.
Well, grand openings are almost always a positive experience. It's fun to see new businesses open their doors, and we love helping out with ribbon cutting ceremonies. Taste of Asia in Frederick recently celebrated its grand opening, and it was a really fun event.
I understand you posted. As a matter of fact, I was looking at the pictures of the grand opening on the blog. And you should all go to Frederick Chamber, wrong one, positivelyfrederick.org, and take a look. Now, I warn you, when you look at these pictures, after you get by the pictures of all the people, the two pictures of the food, fabulous. You're going to want to run out, have some sushi, and of course, a little sake with the sushi.
Of course, of course. Well, if something good has happened to you in Frederick County, write a sentence or snap a picture and send it to us, and we'll post it on the Positively Frederick blog.
All right, now let's see if I can get the rest of this right. All right, Frederick factoids. Jessica has been doing a lot of historical research for our Chamber's centennial. So we have something a little different this month.
Yes, it turns out that the very first president of the Frederick Chamber, his name was John Markey, had some things in common with our current president, Rick Adams.
Like Rick, John was born in Frederick County, attended Frederick High School, and I understand that they were actually classmates. That's what I've heard.
That was hurtful.
John Markey was a merchant who sold hats and shoes. Rick is not fond of hats, but he does love shoes.
Yeah, and most importantly and seriously, they both really share a passion for helping Frederick County businesses achieve success and recognition.
That's this month's factoid. We'll be back in just a moment with our first special guest.
Thanks for tuning in to episode 17 of Chamber TV. Refreshments for our live studio audience were provided by Jersey Mike's.
Well, welcome back. Leadership Frederick County has been around since 1988, and more than 700 community leaders have graduated from the program.
Tracy Lucas works at Frederick County Public Schools and is a proud member of the class of 2008. She now serves as president of the Leadership Frederick County Council. Please welcome Tracy.
All right. Leadership is arguably a very difficult thing to teach. How do you take young professionals and teach them how to do this?
That's a great question. Well, first of all, Leadership Frederick County is an outstanding leadership development program. Our class members really work on critical areas of, first of all, developing their leadership skills. Class members come to us, they're already leaders in their area of business or their field, and they come to this class and they work on developing their leadership skills, broadening their experiences, and learning how they can then take those skills and work within the community. Great. Well, over the past couple of years, LFC has created a new alumni association. Tell us a little bit about what you've done and what impact you hope this group is going to have in the future. Our Alumni Association has been in existence for a couple of years, and we're continuing to grow, and we're continuing to add more folks to our membership. We do social events, obviously. We had one earlier this year at the Flying Dog Brewery. It was very well attended. We had a chance to do some tastings as well as do some socializing. But of course, our focus is always going to be on how do we continue that leadership development for LFC members after they leave the program. When they're in the program, they look to connect ideas, they look to find ways they can become involved in their community, and they do that. We want to continue to grow and advance that idea within the leadership program as an alumni. So we have recently also, as a matter of fact, just yesterday, collaborated with Hood College, and we had what we called Frederick Leads and Reads, and we sponsored in collaboration with Hood a networking reception before nationally renowned author Rebecca Skloot came and spoke at the Weinberg Center. That was an opportunity for just for LFC alum to come, network, and then go hear Rebecca speak. In May, on May 31st, we're going to be having our graduation. Our guest there is Major General Marcia Anderson, who's going to speak to the group about the call to leadership and also about community service. So we really do try to balance the social aspect of continuing, networking with our classmates, as well as you mentioned, the 700 other graduates of the program, but also working to develop those leadership skills and find out how we can continue to serve the community after we graduate. Great.
Wow. Well, applications for next year's program are already available, and interviews, I guess, will begin in June. What advice or insight would you give prospective professionals that are thinking of applying?
Well, first of all, you will hear all of the classes say, we are the best class ever. And I do want to say that every class is the best class ever, because when you become a member of this program, you become associated with many, many fine leaders from all over Frederick County. In addition to that, you'll meet first-class leaders who currently serve in all aspects of our community. All of us know that Frederick is a great place to live and work, but you'll really be able to delve into all aspects of our community, meet those people who make it such a wonderful place to live and work, and then really look to find how you then, as a class member, after you've had all these experiences for the year, where do I fit in the community? How can I go back and give? What's a place for me outside of my scope of work that can help me become someone who is giving back to the community and really flourishing in that environment?
Sounds great. Well, thank you, Tracy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. The chairs are sticking today. All right, you can learn more about LFC and download the application for next year's class online. The website is leadershipfrederickcounty.org. Your favorite part of the show.
It is, absolutely.
All right, if you're interested in saving money and shopping locally, this segment is for you. It's time for our member-to-member spotlight.
All right, and we're spotlighting a couple of different new members, member-to-member coupons this month. The first one, Busy Bee Maid Service, who is a new member, is offering a $20 off your first home or office cleaning. They recently celebrated their grand opening of their Thurmont location, and I understand it was quite an event. Congratulations to them.
Yes, congratulations. If the shoe fits, we'll give you 10% off when you buy new shoes. You can check out their new location and help them celebrate their 10th anniversary at a ribbon cutting on April 26th. We're going to post more information about that on the Chamber TV blog.
All right. Well, you can find these discounts and many more going to the frederickchamber.org and click on the red buttons that say member-to-member coupons. And remember, if you're an owner of a business, make sure your employees know about this. They're all eligible, and it's a nice perk, and you can be a real hero.
Yep, lots of different discounts to choose from. We will be right back with our next special guest. Don't change the channel.
They can't change the
In Season 2, an episode sponsor will be recognized during this commercial break. To learn more about promoting your company on Chamber TV, call 301-662-0745.
Welcome back. Not to be dramatic, but I'm pretty excited about our next guest.
I really have to read this. Okay, well, Jessica, we know every episode has to be just as you like it, but in honor of this guest, I wanted to bring this out. This is a picture of my great-great-great-great-grandfather, and I thought it was very appropriate, so I'd like to introduce John Bellomo, Artistic Director at Maryland Shakespeare Festival.
Come on in. All right.
Getting cozy?
Yes.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good.
All right. Well, Maryland Shakespeare Festival is a world-class organization located right here in Frederick. For those who aren't familiar with what you do, tell us a little bit about the programs you offer.
Well, we have 4 basic programs that get divided into 2 sections. So we have our education programs, and then we have our professional productions. And our education programs are our Riotous Youth program, which is a group of 18 kids between the ages of 10 and 18 years old. They get together every Saturday and work on a Shakespeare play. And then at the end of a 12-week period, they put on a full production in a theater with lights, sets, costumes, all that stuff. It's great. And it's really wonderful to see these kids take ownership of the language. Our other educational program is called Shakespeare Live, and that is a 45-minute, you can kind of look at it as Shakespeare's best. So it's a whole bunch of different scenes from different Shakespeare's plays.
Greatest hits?
Yeah, greatest hits, yes, exactly. Exactly. So it's a whole bunch of those scenes with some connecting dialogue, and we go into middle schools throughout the state of Maryland. We travel all over the state, and we do this 45-minute show, and then that production can also be combined with a workshop for the students or a residency that we could be there for up to 5 days to 3 weeks. One of the residencies, we actually helped the school put on an hour-long production of A Midsummer Night's Dream every year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's really great. Cool. And then our professional programs, we have a winter season, which we just closed a couple weeks ago, called the Bear Bard Repertory Season. And that was 4 Shakespeare plays done over the period of 4 weeks. So it's very fast,
wow.
very quick, yes, very intense. Wow is right. And then our big summer program that we do is we have a production that tours outdoor venues throughout the state of Maryland. So we go all over the place with the full production. And this summer, we did As You Like It last year. This summer, we're doing A Midsummer Night's Dream. So those are our basic programs that we have.
Awesome.
Well, access to arts and culture is one of the many factors that helps determine quality of life in a community. How do you think arts and culture opportunities can help or influence local businesses?
Well, I think that's probably the biggest misconception about the arts, is that we don't contribute economically. The Maryland Department of Business and Economic Development did a study earlier this year, and they came out with some pretty impressive numbers, I think. Throughout the entire state of Maryland, the arts in general generated over $1 billion in economic impact.
Wow.
And Frederick County is part of what they call the Capital Region, which has Frederick County, Montgomery County, and PG County. And in those counties, the Capital Region generated almost $400 million into the economic growth of this area.
Amazing.
It is amazing. And so for every dollar that is in our budget, we generate back into the community almost $4. So it's a big, big impact.
In business, that's what we call a good return on investment.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and it's overlooked a lot of times because most people do talk about the quality of life. So we are an economic drive. There's national studies that are done just specifically for theater where it's a 1 to 7 ratio, where every $1 that a theater has, $7 is generated back into the community. So it's a big industry that's not really being tapped into fully.
Great. Wow. Well, on your website, as we were researching this show, you said that the Maryland Shakespeare Festival believes in a spirit of serious play that tempers a strong work ethic and sense of purpose with joy, humor, and wit. I just really like this idea of serious play. So how does this help your organization to excel, and how do you think other businesses could use this same strategy?
Well, we come up with that idea because in Shakespeare's time, he was a playwright, obviously. He wrote plays. And in his time, actors were called players, and the theaters were called playhouses. So the word play was there all the time for them. So we kind of looked at that, and play really is what we do when we're practicing for life in a way. If you look at baby animals and, they play to practice what they're going to need to do to survive. And it's serious for them, but yet it's still play. So we take that approach to our work. We have a very playful attitude with Shakespeare. Shakespeare's time, the plays were for everybody. They were done for the groundlings who stood on the ground to watch the plays, and for the queen, and all of those intellectual levels in between. And today we have this idea that Shakespeare is stuffy and it's old, because sometimes the language could be a little frustrating for people. So we take a different take on it. We play with the language. We have fun. We play with our audiences. We talk to the audience, and when we ask them a question, to be or not to be, we expect the audience to help us out with that question. So there is a serious sense of play in that way. And then I think anybody needs to play. A lot of times focusing on a problem or an issue, beating your head over it, is not always the best way. Sometimes you have to step back and have a little fun with it and go outside of your comfort zone. And that's what play does. One of our rules with play is you say yes to everything. yes and is the first response. So if somebody has a problem and I think this is the solution, or somebody else says that to me, I say yes and then that solution goes and travels, and it goes through a lot of iterations, but it may not be the initial thing, but if we stop it right away and say no, then it's not going to go anywhere. So this sense of play really helps us break down some barriers, have a lot of fun, not just with Shakespeare, but just with everything we do. Having that sense of play is really helpful. And I think we need to have that more in our society. I mean, imagine if Congress did that, where we could be.
Yes, and.
Yes, and where would we be right now as a country?
Well, that's a good challenge for our Chamber TV audience, is to, in your next business meetings, try saying yes and to everything.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah.
It's a shame you're not very passionate about it.
I know. I really need to work on that part.
I wish you need a little more emotion.
Well,
I'll work on it.
Last question.
Yes.
To roll or not to roll?
To roll.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, John.
Well, as always, there's a lot going on at the Chamber. Make sure you check the calendar on our website, frederickchamber.org, to see all the upcoming events. Like if you missed last Wednesday's business card exchange, where almost 200 companies were there. So if you weren't there, you missed a real networking opportunity.
Well, there are lots more coming up. And we posted links to all the topics we discussed today on our website, frederickchamber.tv.
Well, thank you for tuning in to our 17th episode. A lucky member of our studio audience will win today's prize, a ticket, and this is exciting actually, a ticket to our legislative wrap-up breakfast on April 27th. Now think about what's gone on the last 2 months and what may go on in the next month. This is a meeting you don't want to miss.
Talk about theatrics. Yes, this month's show is made possible by the following volunteers and donors.
Sean Morrissey is our announcer.
Kelly Beach is in Mexico this week, so Betsy Collings is our special guest producer.
Ed Collins is our production assistant.
Catering for our live studio audience was provided by Jersey Mike's. Give them a round.
Well, thank you to everyone who's here with us today, and thank you for tuning in.
Join us in the live studio audience when we record our next episode, Friday, May 18th at 1 o'clock. We'll be right here in the Chamber Training Room, and you're welcome to join us. Between now and then, we'll see you around town and online at frederickchamber.tv.